I've been wanting to talk about Ginny and Georgia for a hot second because this show is actually kind of nuts, and as upsetting as it is to watch, it's my comfort show. Ginny and Georgia, a show about a teenage mom raising her two kids, Austin and Ginny, just moved into their new town in Massachusetts, and they're trying to navigate this new life. And by new life, I mean that Georgia has had to deal with a lot of hardships growing up, now being a woman and wanting to establish herself as a successful single mother of two. She's trying to step into that new role, trying to fill the gap between a teenage murderer on the run to a wealthy mother of two, married to the mayor of the town, and we'll get into all of that trust. But it's actually really hard for me sometimes to talk about these shows when there's a character that actually makes me want to die. And for Ginny and Georgia, that character is without a shadow of a doubt, Ginny. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ginny is the worst character in the world, and it's actually not even funny. Like, I'm on the verge of tears. She is just the most ungrateful, most whiny, most berating, most punchable teenage girl I've ever gotten the displeasure of getting to know. And honestly, she does open up about a lot of her struggles and her unhealthy coping mechanisms as the season goes on, but I cannot get myself to care. She is the bane of my existence. So why? Why make this video? Why torture myself? Well, for one, for the love of the game, of course. And two, on the contrary, and nothing like previously mentioned, the most iconic and lovable Georgia Miller. Georgia saves the show, and with all her hardships in her life, I can understand why she is the way that she is. She is the light at the end of the tunnel, and so is Austin, but not you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ginny and Georgia. Let's set the stage. Georgia moves her kids, Ginny and Austin, to Wellsbury, Massachusetts, hoping for a fresh start after her rough upbringing, hoping and wishing for a better life. Also, I may break out into a southern accent every now and then. It's nearly impossible not to. Episode 1, we meet Georgia as she's charming her way into the Wellsbury neighborhood in town, while secretly nobody knows about her messy and criminal past and her teenage daughter, who she had as a teen. Ginny, said daughter, is the perfect example of the environment she grew up in. Unstable, dysregulating, stress-inducing, all of the above. And look, around here, partner, I can understand your story and hear you out on your trauma, but that will never, and I mean never, absolve you of responsibility over how you act. And the way Ginny acts is inexcusable. If anything, the only person who can be pardoned for her mistakes is Georgia herself. Austin is introduced as the calm younger brother, the sweet, mostly innocent kid, quietly keeping the family together while everything else burns and dies and is stabbed and poisoned. By episode 2, Ginny is navigating her new school life, friend groups, meeting a boy named Marcus, and immediately starting drama that will define most of her season 1 arc. The central tension of the show is obviously Ginny versus Georgia. Watching them interact is equal parts exhausting, fascinating, heartbreaking, and a little bit very much exhausting. It's the emotional core of the entire season, if you will. Georgia is operating on survival mode 24/7. She literally has no choice to be. She's a single mom trying to make a life for herself, coming out of a dangerous and traumatizing upbringing. Ginny, meanwhile, is in a constant state of emotional chaos. Spiritual warfare. Like, I think that girl is actually fighting demons. They're both heavily traumatized, they're both stubborn, and they both refuse to communicate like normal people. And I am always on Georgia's side. Take episode 8, for example. Zion, Ginny's absentee father, makes his biannual customary appearance where he remembers, right, I do have a daughter. Georgia and Zion met as teenagers. Georgia was 15, Zion was 17, and then boom, teen pregnancy. They did what they had to do to get by. Zion's family was very helpful because they were well off, and Georgia's family was, well, didn't have the best relationship, I could say. At times when Zion's parents were trying to take full custody of Ginny, Georgia found herself fleeing from them with the fear that they're gonna take my baby. When she would come back, her and Zion were trying over and over again, but ultimately, because of their circumstances and how young they were raising a child together, they never made it out the other end together. So now they co-parent. And by co-parent, I mean Georgia Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Zion gets her every other fun day, doomsday. So basically never, in true deadbeat fashion. In episode 8, Zion comes back and he takes Ginny to slam poetry. It's cute father-daughter bonding, which, by the way, minus the absence, Ginny loves her father. He's not around enough for them to form a solid relationship, but Ginny is a little male-centered, as we learn to understand, and she loves Zion. But don't we all? While Ginny and Zion are at slam poetry, Georgia is cleaning Ginny's room when she sees Ginny's boy toy climbing through her window. She confronts Ginny about this. Why are you keeping secrets from me, you little shit? And Ginny's going off as well. You're the worst mom ever. Did you have a fun time at slam poetry night? Yes. Was something Marcus-shaped found scaling up the side of the house? Also yes. Two things can be true. Team Georgia. Or even episode 6. One thing about Ginny is that she is utterly determined to know everything about Georgia's past. She wants to know her upbringings, her traumas, her deepest regrets, even though Georgia has done a phenomenal job at keeping that part of her life away from her kids. Ginny wants to know all of it. She digs and digs and digs. I mean, did curiosity killing the cat mean nothing to you? In episode 6, Georgia's younger sister tracked her back into her new town, Wellsbury. Georgia, being very young when she ran away, left her little sister to fend for herself. But when Maddie came back, this was a shock to Ginny and Austin. What the hell? You have a sister? Ginny takes this as a personal attack and goes digging into Georgia's past, figuratively and physically, where she finds out about Georgia being in a biker gang and her owning a gun. By episode 7, Ginny has beaten a dead horse one too many times. The horse being Georgia's past and upbringing, to where Georgia then had to reveal every dark story that she had to live through as a child. Daughter of the year you are, Ginny. So it is clear that the tensions lie between Ginny and her mother, but trust, when it comes to an unhealthy relationship, Ginny has way more where that came from. Now, let's get into Ginny's little friendship circus, because my God, if there is one thing that girl is committed to, it is self-sabotage. When Ginny first meets Max, Abby, Nora, and Samantha, it was pretty instant that this was the friend group that she was going to have for the rest of her high school life. Mang, M-A-N-G, a acronym for her friend group, composed of Maxine, Abby, Nora, and now Ginny. And if you're wondering as to why Samantha isn't in there, well, it's because nobody likes Samantha. Max is the group leader, if one will. She's the manic, excitable, ride or die. She's the glue that the group needs. I believe that Mang falls apart without Maxine because the other three are painfully boring and kind of horrible friends. Abby is moody, blunt, dry, and she's going through her own stuff like body image issues and family issues, fears of abandonment. She reminds me of those friends that would punch you when they laugh, but sometimes it was excessive and you didn't really know if that was uncontrollable, if they're actually trying to get into it. I also feel like Abby spent a lot of time in ISS. Nora is just kind of there. Like, I don't know, we don't really get much from her, and frankly, I don't care. And Samantha's weird. From the second Ginny steps into the friend group, the energy becomes kind of competitive. There's some jealousy, little side comments, lots of microaggressions, just insecurity in general bubbling under the surface. And Ginny walks into all of that. You know, the more I sit here with these thoughts, maybe she was right to blow the friend group up because they were kind of plotting on her. First of all, Samantha and Ginny's passive-aggressive beef is almost funny because it's so transparent. Samantha is constantly throwing these jabs and Ginny is tuning her out, and the whole thing feels like two girls fighting for dominance over absolutely nothing. Ginny's not popular because she's new to the school. Literally everyone hates Samantha, and she's barely a part of the friend group, so I'm not sure what this commotion is for. Like, I don't know what the purpose of Samantha's character is. Like, when she first meets Ginny, one of the first things she calls her is exotic. She's very upfront, unlikable, but also so inconsequential. She's completely unimportant to the plot, but there nonetheless to throw a little microaggression love. Now, Max, my beloved, is doing the absolute most because she's in her own little world of musical theater, my kind of gal. First loves and emotional intensity, and Ginny's take on this is just kind of using her as a high school social ladder, because what she really wants is Maxine's better, probably worser half, Marcus. Marcus is Maxine's twin brother. He, like Abby, is moody and nonchalant. Yeah, I smoke weed, whatever. Yeah, I wear dark clothes. Maybe I skateboard a little too, but the world doesn't get me. And Ginny wants every last bit of that, and she will stop at nothing, even her own boyfriend, to get it. And this is where the Hunter and Marcus situation comes in and truly sends everything to hell. Ginny starts dating Hunter, who is Hunter is the human version of a bow tie. He's cringy in all of the worst ways. He wrote Ginny a song, but the song was really horrific. I can barely breathe when you are near, and I really just I don't know the lyrics. I can barely breathe when you are near. Thank you. It's whatever. And if that wasn't just spectacular enough, he also tap danced as a birthday gift to her. Mind you, they only knew each other for a bit, if we're lucky 3 months. Like, we do not hard launch the tap dancing bit of our relationship just yet. Give it like 2 years before you do all that. And I think the worst part about it is that Hunter is supposed to be the hottest guy at school. Like, please don't make me tell you why that's some BS. There's no real connection between Ginny and Hunter. There's no depth. There's no understanding. Just a lot of tap dancing. And while she's with Hunter, she's obviously very emotionally wrapped in Marcus, who she has an actual intimate connection with. So instead of being honest, she cheats. Women in male-dominated fields, I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at it. She sneaks around. She lies to Hunter. She lies to Max. She's sleeping with Marcus and nobody knows. True scandal. She drags everyone into her mess. And then, this is my favorite part, she still manages to play the victim when it all blows up. When Max inevitably finds out the betrayal is real, that is her brother and her best friend from day dot. Literally the first day that she met Maxine and Marcus, she was already sleeping with the enemy. And this whole time when Max is opening up to her about relationship struggles, squealing over the high school's annual musical, being a friend to her, Ginny was sleeping with her twin brother. Vom. So obviously, Ginny's not that smart. Everyone eventually finds out, and Ginny's like, oh my god, Maxine, I'm sorry. What was I supposed to do? Oh, well, I don't know. You could have started by telling her. Or even better, when Marcus and Ginny are confronted about this sexcapade, Marcus makes a comment. It was a mistake. Kind of checking her temperature. Hey, it was a mistake. No cruel intentions. Everybody, let's move on. As wrong as he is for partaking in the cheating, this is not his friend group. Hunter isn't his boyfriend. He doesn't really have any real loyalties to anyone here except for Maxine. But even then, there's a thin line. But Ginny harps on this comment like a fucking elementary school recital. It was a mistake. Oh, girl, please. You knew what he meant. But again, victim complex, that's how she is. I have a headache. The group implodes, and it's at this point that Ginny's unhealthy coping mechanisms really start to show more clearly, not just in her relationships, but in the way that she handles her own emotional pain. Instead of talking about it, instead of asking for help, she feels like there's no other way to turn except for a dangerous way, self-harm. We see hints of her self-destructive habits, and it's very sad to see, obviously, because this is where her trauma is the loudest. It doesn't make her more likable, please, but it does make her more human. She's carrying a lot, and she has absolutely no idea how to carry it safely. Coming into a new town as a new student is a horrific canon event. The fact that Ginny had it all laid out in front of her so simply, and she still effed it up, I have zero sympathy to give. I'm sorry. And I hope it was worth it, girl. I hope breaking up your friend group was worth it. Spoiler, it's never worth it. Let's break down Ginny and Marcus. Ginny and her family move into a new house in Wellsbury, where she first encounters Marcus outside, quickly learns that he is her next door neighbor. Their dirty little secret begins almost instantly, and it's a secret Ginny has to hold for the entire season. Things get messy when Ginny starts dating Hunter, human bow tie. And while Hunter is out here writing love songs for Ginny, Marcus is the complete opposite. He's a quiet guy, a little sarcastic, and broken. Their relationship becomes this weird trauma bonding and emotional honesty thing that Ginny feels, I guess, she can't have with Hunter. All he wants to do is tap dance. Marcus is actually trying to understand her, asking questions about her life, checking in on her mental health, and being careful with her feelings in a way that Hunter just can't get access to. That part of Ginny is just not for him. But episode 5 and 6, they're basically having an emotional affair in broad daylight while she's still technically with Hunter. Very messy. She likes the safety of her relationship with Hunter. I also think she likes the status because apparently they're the hottest couple at school, but she still desires the intensity of Marcus, and instead of choosing one and being honest, well, why have one when you can have both? But while her relationship with Hunter is messy, don't think that her relationship with Marcus is perfect, because this girl does not know how to have a healthy relationship. She literally sends Marcus into a spiral, saying that he's incapable of love and he's a joke. I mean, good grief. This was completely unprompted, by the way. He didn't say anything to her. She just misdirected her anger. I'm just confused where all of that came from. He ends up crashing his motorcycle and getting a concussion and all the fun stuff. And in the finale, when it all finally explodes, when Hunter finds out, when Max finds out, when the friend group implodes, the fallout is irreversible. Everybody is mad at everybody. Marcus loses his twin's trust. Hunter loses perception of reality and control of his fist.
It was... I have a concussion.
And Ginny is standing in the middle of her mess, acting confused, of course. But it's not enough to break Marcus and Ginny, where we're kind of left off on a cliffhanger of whether or not they're going to continue their relationship in the next season. I don't know how I feel about Marcus and Ginny, in all honesty. Obviously, they make way more sense than her and Hunter. That just doesn't make sense in general, but her and Marcus clearly have bonded over their traumas and hardships, and I suppose that's a good thing. I just can't stand Ginny, therefore I don't support any relationship that she's in because she needs a therapist, which she actually gets one in season 2. Thank God. Marcus is broody, she's misunderstood. Okay, get together. I don't care. That's enough Ginny talk. My head is pounding. Let's talk about Georgia Miller. Georgia has killed people. Quite a few. I think that may be her only flaw. This dates back all the way to when she was a teenager and she had met the father of her daughter, Zion. While on the run, Georgia changed her name from Mary to Georgia and was adopted by a biker gang called Blood Eyes. When she met Zion, he noticed that she had bruising and kind of maybe incited that maybe she should allegedly get her lick back. Kind of. So she goes back and she shoots her stepdad in the hand. In this scene, we can tell that Georgia has got a little bit of a rush from this. A serial killer is born. I'm so proud. Fast forward and we meet her first known husband, Anthony Green. He's rich. She needs a place to stay. He was also very, very creepy, and she was very, very young and extremely inappropriate towards Georgia. He had to go. He had to go. So allegedly, she may have overprescribed him. Okay, but he should have been more careful with making sure that his prescription was right. So if you really think about it, it's not even fault. And finally, we have Georgia's late husband, Kenny. Kenny, too, was creepy, only this time he was weird towards Ginny. You know, poison in the smoothies, heart attacks on the freeways, just regular, average things. I don't think anyone actually faults Georgia for doing what she did. At the end of the day, it was an act of self-defense, and she only did it to protect her family. She ate that. And I think the best part about it is that she herself doesn't care. She sees herself as a survivor, a protector, and you know what? That's exactly what she is. We find out later in the season that her stepfather was doing bad things to her as a child, and she was also being physically and verbally abused by him. And her first husband, Anthony Green, took advantage of Georgia's extremely vulnerable position. She was just a teenage mom trying to find shelter and food for her baby, and although he provided that, he was also a creep. Kenny was rich and almost gave Georgia the life that she was looking for, but then he was being creepy with her daughter. I mean, what do you suggest she does? Throughout the season, she has to hide this dark past from her friends, from her boyfriend Paul, and her boyfriend Joe, and her boyfriend Zion. It's the battle of baby daddies. Bring your baddest bitch out. Hug, bow, kiss, begin. Let's start with Zion because that man has been in the family lore. Georgia and Zion meet when she's only 15 years old, running away from her abusive family. They meet at a bar where sparks fly. Zion, 17, explains that he's road tripping, going off to see the world for all of its glory before college. He's an aspiring photographer. They have been locked in ever since they were teenagers. I mean, raising a child would do that to you. Raising this child in specific. They have Ginny together. They do the whole we're in love, but life is messy thing. And shocker, it doesn't last. There's some separation there in the years in between. Georgia running away, Zion going to work and photography, I guess. Georgia also having Austin with her other baby father. Gil. But for the most part, Georgia is left to figure it out on her own and raise 2 kids while trying to give herself, but mostly them, a good and comfortable life. Every time Zion shows up again, it's like time folds in on itself. After all these years, they still understand each other, and deep down, they're definitely still in love with each other. One thing I will say is that Ginny does not like that Georgia and Zion love each other. In fact, she loses her mind every single time it happens. In episode 8, she catches Georgia and Zion together, which causes her to self-harm. But then Marcus comes through the window, she lashes out on him like he was the one sleeping with her mom, and causes him to crash his motorcycle and get a concussion. Love that. So maybe we don't want Georgia and Zion to get together because then someone will get hurt, Ginny will go rampant, and I don't think I can handle that. Overall, I love the connection that Georgia and Zion have through growing up together and raising their family. But Zion is such a flake, he can't help it. Every time he says he's gonna stay, he goes. And that, my friend, is just not gonna cut it. Next bachelor. Who do we have here? Oh, Joe. Our sweet ranch-owning, restaurant-running, beard-having, plaid-wearing, towel-over-the-shoulder Joe. The man who met Georgia for like 5 minutes when they were children sharing a sandwich. And that small moment somehow stuck It's stuck. At the bus stop of a field trip, Joe and Georgia have their first meet. They bond over not crying over spilled condiments and their love for horses. Little Joe explains that when he gets older, he would like to own a farm with chickens and horses. And little Georgia adds that if she ever had a horse, she would name it Milkshake. And I only mention that because Joe in real time owns a ranch and names his horse Milkshake in her honor. After all these years, Joe, will you ever truly let it go? Joe is obsessed, let's be honest. Maybe not Joe obsessed, but Joe obsessed. Just a little crush and maybe a little bit of a pushover for her. Me too. So you would think that someone who's madly in love with Georgia would have recognized her off of the bat. I mean, how many clues does this man need? Georgia from Georgia. You had a conversation about how you're from Massachusetts, then she moves there 15 years later. She mentions a horse named Milkshake, so you named your horse Milkshake after her, and it took you the Ray-Bans? On episode 10, oh boy, bae. Joe is kind of a ditz, but we love him regardless. If anything, it's sweet that he fell in love with Georgia all over again, not knowing who she is. Joe, with a little bit of work, you get a stamp of approval from me. Gold star. And for our final bachelor, we have Paul, Mr. Mayor, the man who sees Georgia and instead of running, reaffirms time and time again that she won't scare him away. Paul and Georgia first meet in the first episode at Joe's restaurant. Ironically enough, she accidentally, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, bumps into him. But let's talk about that bowl he was buying anyways. Ciabatta bread, cheese, ham, a piece of lettuce, and fries. Yeah, that's better on the floor if you ask me. Georgia is new to Wellsbury. She would like a job working at his office. But Paul is running for mayor. He's in a very prestigious position. He can't just be hiring anybody. But everyone's in love with Georgia Miller, so he gets her the job. Luckily, Georgia is a qualified businesswoman. Dodging her abusive family and taking care of 2 kids on her own from a very young age taught her how to do that. They become almost a power duo in the office. She helps him clean up his image and eventually run for mayor. He's powerful, organized, calm, the literal opposite of her, which is why it works. I'm sorry. I'm a Paul truther. He gives her stability, status, safety, and she gives him in return excitement, personality, a little bit of danger, but fun nonetheless. This is like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He is a family man. He is successful. He has boundaries. He might be a cookie cutter, stick up the ass, but Paul loves Georgia and he loves her children. And he was the only one to take a chance on her from the very beginning. He may not know about the killing and stuff, but somehow he still chooses her every time. It's romantic, okay? Only real lovers will understand. So Paul, in true mayoral fashion, you have my vote. Zion is her past, the one who made her who she is, the one who she faced her hardest struggles with, and even now, he can't keep up with her. Joe is the what-if fantasy filled with nostalgia, childhood memory. But Paul is the future. Paul is the image. He is her husband, and yet she still juggles between the three. She's only a girl. It is character analysis time. Ginny. I have all the smoke for Ginny. She is undeniably insufferable this season. As the show goes on, she does progress. She gets better for sure. But this season, she is a handful. The way Ginny treated Georgia was so left field after everything this woman sacrificed for her. Ginny treated her like she was about to be her next kill. Time and time again, Georgia had to explain what it was that she did was only for the sake of her kids. Ginny would make Georgia reveal her past trauma, even though that's none of her business. And Ginny was acting a foolio all season, cheating on her boyfriend, blowing up her friend group, framing her teacher. She was a mess. And after all of that, she still had energy for Georgia. It was actually jarring to watch. Ginny is a hard watch, genuinely. I don't really have a single good thing to say about her. She's truly the worst. On the contrary, I absolutely love Georgia Miller, a unapologetic, morally flawed female protagonist. Yes, please. She stands 10 toes behind killing those men. I mean, how could you hate her? I will say this is probably the most animated Georgia felt throughout all the seasons. You can tell that she's ambitious and optimistic about her future, and that light flickers as the seasons go by. I wonder why. Oh, I wonder whomst. She is a master of reinvention. Accent, obsessed. Wardrobe, personality, husband. She is literally a trophy wife, except she's successful in her own right. She wants to win at life, like there's some cosmic scorecard, and she's determined to finally be on top for once in her life, and she's gonna get it every time. And if that means flirting with the mayor, or embezzling from said mayor's office, who are we to judge a woman for chasing her version of the American dream. Zion is the man who shows up with the camera around his neck and zero consistency every time. He is unreliable in every sense. It almost hurts my brain. Like at one point in the season, he tells Georgia that he wants to be a family again and he wants to move all 4 of them into his Boston apartment, only to then completely change his mind and then perform some type of weird reverse psychology on Georgia and say that he's leaving because he's not what she wants. Besides all that, Zion means well. He really does. You can tell that he loves Ginny, but his father duties are just a bit unserious. He floats in and out of her life with no apology, but honestly, Ginny doesn't even care in the slightest and still finds a way to blame Georgia for it, so I don't even know. I don't even know. What makes Zion interesting is the fact that he represents the life that Georgia almost had, but he's completely outgrown that life, and so has she. He's a good man in theory, a flake in practice. Nothing that can't be worked on, though. And any episode that involves Zion was a good episode, so cheers.
Joe. Oh, no.
Joe is the definition of if he wanted to, he would. Except he literally never does. And he doesn't get it. No matter how many crystal clear signs he receives, he still doesn't get it. It's endearing at best, concerning at worst. He's the emotional safe space of the show. I love Joe. My take on Joe is that I actually love him outside of Georgia. I love that he runs his little restaurant on the corner. He's funny. He's probably the only normal character in this entire show. But when he's trying to put it on, I just can't sit up here and defend that. That would be uncharacteristic of me. It took him a minute, but he remembered Georgia from the one interaction that they had years ago with the Ray-Bans and sandwich, and he held on to it like a picture in a locket. That is sick. He is sick. And can we be honest? Georgia would eat this man alive. He couldn't even get a clue from the woman when she said the name milkshake. I mean, can we be so serious? Everything she does makes him nervous. I really couldn't imagine him having anything but a heart attack when Georgia tells him that she's killed people. But you know who can handle it? Paul is ambition and passion wrapped in a politician's smile. Paul is successful, organized, wealthy, and put together. He is the stability Georgia is chasing, the house, the lifestyle, the respect. This is literally all she could ever want. But that's not all to Paul. Besides the status and the money, Paul and Georgia love each other. She helps him where he can't help himself, like in his mayoral campaign when she was the reason why he won with how much effort she put into successful campaign events, flyers, commercials, social media. But also Paul being with the single mother of 2 children from 2 different men doesn't do wonders for his portfolio, but he never cared. Maybe it caused a hindrance to his image, but it never caused a hindrance to his love. Paul, they can never make me hate you. I choose Paul every time. He is the only man with consistency, and above all, there's love here, and you can't deny that. Max is chaotic good. She loves very hard, talks an awful lot, feels everything, but we love someone who wears their heart on their sleeve. Her relationship with Marcus is fascinating because she represents sunshine and rainbows while he represents darkness, weed. She is the ride or die friend, and honestly, one of the only reasons why Ginny had any social footing at all. So for Ginny to stab her in the back like that is crazy. The only thing I would change about the scene in episode 10 when they confronted Ginny and Marcus is that instead of Hunter throwing that punch, it should have been Maxine and to Ginny. And Marcus too, but specifically Ginny. The only somewhat vindication I got is when Georgia slapped her. It's like she did it for me. Maxine actually has her own plot line regarding her relationship with Sophie. It ends as quickly as it begins, but Sophie is weird. She dates Max, they sleep together, which Maxine fantasized about all season, and Sophie knew that, only to then dump her for college, even though it's December. It's a bit of a preemptive breakup, but it sends Maxine into a spiral given that this is her first serious relationship, and then she gets consoled by Ginny, and then she finds out that Ginny is sleeping with her brother. Speaking of, Marcus is deeply depressed, but like indie sleaze depressed. Marcus had a lore drop where he revealed that his best friend died of cancer last year, and he's been silently spiraling ever since. I think for someone so depressed, Marcus does not play about his side hobbies. He skates, he paints, he plays instruments, he motorcycles. Like, what kind of depression is this, and where can I acquire? Marcus and Ginny form a relationship where it feels like they're the only ones who truly understand each other. The difference is Marcus internalizes, and Ginny externalizes. He turns inwards, she lashes outwards. He actually is incredibly perceptive and kind and somewhat emotionally immature. He doesn't romanticize Ginny's mess, but he understands it because he's in it too. And you know what? I kind of love Marcus. He did Maxine dirty, but he doesn't do too much. Also, Marcus has a signature sign-off and theme song whenever he leaves a scene, and I love it. I try my best to hate on this show, but it's like I wrote it. Every time he leaves, it's, I'm giving in to the make-believe. And then he throws a little. And I'm really sad because I think this is one of the things that the audience bullied the writers enough to scrap it, and he never does it again. He does it a lot in season 1. Oh, Hunter. Well, He's, well, he's he's also really, yeah. He's just, yeah. For what it's worth, Hunter was really respectful, loyal, thoughtful, and affectionate. But I can't get over that tap dancing, and I can't get over the song singing, and I usually would be all ears. I can't get over the happy Friday, it's happy Friday. I can't. Hunter was a mess, and I don't know who wrote his character, but you need to be put in the corner immediately. Regardless, they did him so wrong. He put his heart out there, and his ankles. And what did he get in return? A two-timing bitch. Overall, I've watched Gilmore Girls many a time, so I was mentally prepared for Ginny and Georgia, and the show is great. I love it. It's messy, it's so cringy, like almost unwatchably cringy, but it's also intense and toe-gripping and sad. Ginny, you will always be dealt with, and Georgia, may you always be pardoned. Marcus, may your weed stay supplied. Maxine, you will always get the leading role. Zion, you will learn to stop flaking, and Joe, may you always hesitate before flirting. And Paul just never changed. All right, that's it.
I've been having